What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, all that good stuff. We're going to watch some AWS Summit today. We got about 30 minutes before the start of the show. I'm not sure. They've got a countdown clock going for Werner's keynote here, but it says about 29 minutes. So I'm guessing they're not going to do any kind of preview stuff. As soon as they do, I'll throw it up on screen. We'll switch things around, but wanted to get everybody in here and get started and say hi. This is the first formal one of these, I guess, that we're going to do as an ongoing series. So in case we don't know each other, hi. My name's Nick Howell, affectionately known as the Data Center Dude. You can find all of my stuff over at datacenterdude.com. But yes, I am an employee at NetApp. I am the Global Field CTO of Cloud Data Services, which basically means my job is to get the word out about a lot of the stuff that NetApp is doing in the cloud, whether that's storage, applications, data services, all kinds of stuff. And if you'd like to check out more of that, cloud.netapp.com, all kinds of stuff going on over there. I do stream as well 3 times a week where we talk about content creation, we talk about home labs, we talk about doing all kinds of stuff in the cloud, any variety of stuff. Right now we're doing a home studio NAS overhaul project and introducing 10 gigs. So lots of fun stuff. Make sure you're subscribed here to the channel. Follow me over on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/datacenterdude. We are going to be doing some stuff over there as well. But thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is going to be a lot of fun as we kind of launch this watch party thing into effect. The idea, the genesis of this really came from watching video gamers watch other people's YouTube videos. That was really the genesis of this. Specifically, Asmongold is one of my favorite streamers to watch. Playing World of Warcraft, and he'll go out and do commentary on other people's YouTube videos and whether or not they're full of crap or what he thinks about it. And I was like, it'd be pretty fun to do that for some events, some keynotes online, things like that. So last fall we started doing it with, I believe it was Ignite, Microsoft Ignite, and then we did it for KubeCon, and then we did it for AWS reInvent. And a lot of great chatter happened during those. So basically what you're in for today is my live commentary during Werner's keynote. And yeah, then we'll get started. We'll see how things go from there. I think this is going to become more regular as we go because there's a lot of virtual events now. Given the current climate of the world, there's a lot of stuff to do online. We've been part of an event as well. You can head over to youtube.com/netapp. A couple of weeks ago, we had an event, live event, with a big group of people. It was more of a community-focused event around Kubernetes, keynoted by Nigel Poulton. Lots of guests from the CNCF, from Red Hat, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of good stuff over there. Google as well. So yeah, head over to YouTube, check that one out. It's called Ready, Set, Kubernetes, and there's going to be a whole series of these events every month for subtitled Ready, Set, and then whatever the topic du jour is for that month. So yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel here. Gonna have a lot of good content coming. It's somewhat of a brand new channel. It's been up for a couple of months. Been putting up some YouTube videos talking about things like Discord and how to build the tech community, things like that. If you'd like to come over and join us in our community Discord, it's datacenterdude.com/Discord. There's well over 100 technologists in there already, having conversations about anything from pimping out their home office and studios, all the way up to graphics cards and home labs, video gaming, all kinds of stuff over there. It really is a technologist enthusiast community. So datacenterdude.com/Discord if you'd like to get in on some of that. 25 minutes here, looks like, is the countdown until we get started. So if you want to take a break, make a sandwich. It is middle of the day, lunchtime here on the East Coast. Make yourself some lunch real quick. Come back in a few minutes or say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Yep, good stuff. I'm basically... what can we talk about? Backup Ninjas here. What's up, man? Also, some fun commentary I'll give you guys here at the beginning. I am moving from Twitch to YouTube for my live streams. This is the first one. It was supposed to happen on Monday, but some things didn't go the way I wanted them to, and I needed to switch a bunch of stuff over, but here we are. We're on YouTube, and it looks fantastic, and I'm feeling much more at home and comfortable in the place that I've already been live streaming for other means for over a year now. So I understand the YouTube studio. It just makes sense to me. I get it. But Twitch can still be a little bit daunting from time to time. All the subs and bits and cheers and all of that stuff. Oh. What's going on, Backup Ninja? How you doing, man? Glad you found your way over. Oh, man. Looks good. Thank you. It's the same overlays. It's the same stuff, but I basically had to duplicate everything, get new browser sources, reload OBS with a whole new set of scenes. And it was not trivial. I'll put it that way. But for someone that's been doing, I knew exactly what I needed to do. It was just busy work, so to speak. It was a lot of copying and pasting. Yup. I do have a present to show you guys. I don't know if we'll get to it today. We might I think we're going to save the magical unboxing until Friday. Still working on getting your own stuff up. Did you see, did get to see you swap stuff over. Oh, yeah. Wait. What do you mean you got to see it? I wasn't online. Oh, maybe you saw it in the Discord. I'm not sure. When I was moving the over... Okay. Excuse me. Well, there is 10 gig Ethernet officially running in my house now. The reason I don't want to spoil anything and the reason I want to save a lot of that for Friday is because I'd like to keep today's stream about the watch party. And I'm not really sure how long Verner's keynote is going to be here, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour. We're going to see. We're going to find out together. But I wanted this video to kind of be dedicated to the watch party. And then we can, because I've got a lot of other stuff this afternoon that I've got to prep for too. So competing priorities here. But Friday... we're definitely going to be unboxing and populating the new NAS, migrating eight drives over without changing the array, and just lighting up 10 gig. So, yeah, it feels pretty awesome to have 10 gig Ethernet running in my house right now. It sounds a little silly to say, but I can't wait to show you guys the performance. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. No, we're going to be moving the physical drives from one NAS to the other. Yeah. Basically, and the cool thing is even though there's 7 years between the models of the two devices, the carriages are the same. So I can literally take drive 1 out of bay 1 and put it into bay 1 of the other NAS. And then the volume stays the same. The one thing I haven't done yet is fire up the new one to be able to do a backup and restore of the configuration between the two devices. Never underestimate the bandwidth of a station wagon full of tapes hurtling down the highway. Yeah, that's a good point. Very, very good point. 20 minutes. T-minus 20 minutes until we get some Verner Vogels. Oh, Verner gives good keynote. I always look forward to a good Verner keynote. His one at, what t-shirt is he going to wear? It's going to be soaking wet by the time he's done with it. How's the music level over there, guys? I put it on the setting where we normally are on Twitch, but I don't know if it makes a huge difference. It shouldn't be that big a difference. Let me know what the levels sound like. Me and the music, if you don't mind. Music's good? Good. Well, once the keynote starts, or they should put up a start screen about 5 minutes out, from what I understand. So we'll kill the music, we'll put the start screen up, we'll switch over to our watch party, and get started. But I figured we'd just jam for a little bit, rap for a little bit. Oh. I have a presentation at 3 o'clock that I've not prepared the slides for. We'll get it done. I've got the slides. It's just a shell game of what order to put them in and which ones from 10 different decks to throw into this deck. We all know that game, right? I can't wait to get the new camera so I can have more of a wide-angle view and it doesn't look like I'm chopped off here. We'll get that soon. All right. What else can we do here? I'm making sure I'm testing the last couple of things here. First stream on YouTube with these scenes. So just double checking a lot of stuff. Let's test one thing real quick while we're here. This is not a real user, by the way. Nice. All right, that worked. So I need to go to... Ow. Forgive me while I work over here, guys. I'm trying to get these last little things. Have you already run through all the transitions? Well, I can show you guys. We'll take a peek at that. That's what the watch party scene is going to look like once we kick over to it, right? So we're going to have the chat on screen. We're going to have me on screen. We're going to have Verner and the everything else on scene. So those are the only two we're using today. And, of course, the ending screen. But, yeah. Looks good. Good stuff. There is one thing in my alerts that I need to fix really quick. What scene am I in? Just one. Okay. Need to turn some of these sounds off. All right, alert box. And then text. 40 and 42. All right, I think I got that fixed. Cool. Denali Bound looks good. Thanks for hosting. Hey, thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. You don't recall being able to pop out chat on Twitch? You can. You can. At least I know I can as the streamer. It's a very good point. You know what? Now I'm curious. Now you've got me curious. Oh, Windows updates. Please do not restart right now. No, schedule the restart. I don't want Windows to automatically do anything. Like, never automatically install updates. Can you set that? Can you still set that in Windows 10? All right, let me close some of these noisemakers here. -15 T-minus 15 minutes. Another quick reminder, if you guys aren't in there already, datacenterdude.com/Discord. Come join us for all kinds of good stuff. It's a big group of concentrated technologists, all from the enterprise tech industry. various roles, developers, infrastructure, cloud architects from all various companies and consultancies and third parties. So definitely come hang out. It is a brand new tech community that I'm trying to fire up, just to try and corral everybody all back together again. And if you really want to see what the meaning behind it and the story behind it, I do have a video here that, frankly, you've got time to watch if you want to. It's about 8 minutes long, right here on the channel. So check it out. It's called Resurrecting the Tech Community in Discord. But yeah, you'll see why, and you get all the links right there. But yeah, datacenterdude.com/Discord if you want to get in on some of that. Thank you guys. I appreciate all the feedback from everybody that I've gotten on that. The suggestions are great. I'm happy to see everybody interacting. It's a work in progress. We're molding the channels. We're making sure everything comes together nicely. Presentation not available. So how do I enter now? Oh, here we go. Okay. Hang on. We might be able to get this started here. Please refresh your browser if you lost your video or audio. Okay. Video, drag to resize. There we go. Nice. We'll see how this goes. It doesn't look like they fired up video. You can. This is pretty cool though. You can drag it around. You guys can see that, right? You can replace. I guess if you wanted to put, you can put that wherever you want, and I can put the chat down here. Holy smokes, this is cool. Q&A down here. This is called onlineexperiences.com. How do you reset it once you've foobarred it? Oh well. So once it starts, we'll kill the music. We'll cut over to this. We'll get ready. I'll probably go grab a fresh drink before we get started here. Are you streaming on a separate computer and capturing that via HDMI? No. All one computer. I used to do that. But there's a poor AMD and Radeon GPU sitting over there just powered off. Has been for a few months. Haven't quite figured out what I want to do with it yet. But I will. Oh, so why you can see my Windows taskbar for now is because I'm doing a display capture scene source. So that I can capture the video when it plays off the website. I suppose you could do a window capture as well, but I move around between a whole bunch of windows. So, we'll see. Yeah, it's a display capture instead of window. I've found that window capture doesn't normally work that well for me, especially with Chrome. So, will the video automatic... If we restore video, it'll be. This is one of the first AMS Summit on AWS Summit onlines. This is pretty cool. Fact drag. Let me go ahead and switch over to the watch party view, guys, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Maybe if I do full screen there's your window bar gone. Just full screen Chrome F11. So we got captions, we got tips, one-on-one Q&A. I guess that's the bottom one here. What is that? Polls. That's pretty cool. Oh, wow. Okay, so I see what's going on here. I see what's going on here, Penguin. I am using Chrome. Let's make sure this didn't fire up already. No? Okay. So yeah, This is going to be fun. I'm excited to see how long the keynote actually goes for. I'm excited to see how a company the size of AWS handles this virtual event kind of thing. I think a lot of us are still in very much an exploratory learning phase on how to properly put these kind of things on. And I'm hoping, my biggest hope is that this doesn't just turn into copycat syndrome. I like the idea of pulling ideas of things from other shows and other ways, but make it yours. Make it unique. Don't just do what everybody else in the industry is doing. Yeah, just there's got to be some personality and humanity to it. If I could give any tips. And it's much like I said in my video on virtual events, like this is great for information, but I mean, is it going to replace what happens after the shows? Nah. If anyone can do this properly, I'm sure AWS can. Yeah, I'll give them that. I've also never heard of this onlineevents.com site. Onlineexperiences.com, excuse me. They're the ones putting all this together, it looks like. So I don't even... Now I'm curious. Let me move that over here. No. Experiences.com. Did I type it right? Onlineexperiences.com. Oh, it's not the double E. That's okay. Let me just do this. Just copy it. Interesting. Oh. Uh-huh. Okay. Got it. Seven minutes. Bio break and grab a drink if you need it. We're starting in 7 minutes. And today we're announcing AWS Summits. Conferencing as a service. Yes, exactly. I know what I can do in the next couple minutes. Let's do chat commands. Custom. Oh, let's test it. Let's see if it works already. Probably not, because I don't think I've modded my... I gotta mod the bot. Mod the bot. YouTube add user mod. Oh, I guess I can just do it maybe right here from Stream Elements. Stream Elements is now a moderator for your channel. Maybe that was the trick. Yeah, part of setting all of this up again was making sure that everything works right. So there is a trick you have to do where you have to mod the Stream Elements user. Whoa, what was that? Hey, it worked! There you go. New announcement keynote will start in a few... Oh, that's where that came from. Good Lord, that was loud. My ears almost ruptured. So, theoretically, yeah, there's a whole... You guys can find all the commands. I think it's by typing bang commands. There's all kinds of good stuff in here. Is that it? Yeah. Yep, there it is. So there's music and YouTube and BWO, my wrestling show that I do, all kinds of good stuff. I wanted to let you guys know that we're doing AWS Summit today. We got Microsoft Build coming up. We haven't really heard anything about Google Next, which normally happens in April. So there's several things coming up that we're gonna be looking at. But yeah, Build is coming up next. I believe it's next week, and we're gonna have a lot to do for Build next week for sure. Mr. Wang! I'm assuming you're Mr. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your first name. I don't want to butcher it. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. I'm going to go Huaning. Huaning? I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Hopefully I was close. All right, let's go. We're getting close. It's the final countdown. Refresh. Yes. All right, close some of these other little things. Make sure nothing pops up. No, we don't need Zoom right now. All right. I'm impressed they're not doing like any kind of pre-warm-up scene or anything. Did everyone see this yet? What do you mean? What you talking about, Willis? You was reading yesterday and you have some ideas of how I'd like to use this. When you say this, what are you referring? Are you referring to online events or... links filtered? Oh, you may have to change to live chat instead of top chat. That's one thing about YouTube. Nothing I can do about it, guys. Sorry about that. It's one of the most annoying things because they're trying to let the algorithm decide what to show you, and it's really, really annoying. There is a long thread of creators slapping YouTube on the wrist going, "Stop it!" However, for people that are streaming to 10, 15, 20,000 people, that top chat thing does come in really handy. So I understand. I understand. Me with 15 people doesn't really have a lot of pull when it comes to that. Can I see what link? I don't see a link. The bot might be preventing links because spam. Are you saying that you tried to paste a link into chat and it didn't come? Okay. Let me see what you got. Oh, are we starting? Keynote is now live? No, it's not. Oh, there we go. Let me kill the music.
The AWS Summit Online. My name is Verner Vogel, and I'm the CTO of Amazon.com. For many people, this global pandemic has led to very difficult times. I'm very fortunate that I'm in a nice apartment in the center of Amsterdam, where people take social distancing extremely serious. And so I'm recording this from my home studio, but it's the first time. So please bear with me. And I don't know whether you are still experiencing containment restrictions, or maybe already getting back to a daily
BattleBots
routine.
t-shirt, yes.
We're thankful that you've decided to take the day today to spend with us. The AWS Global Summit Series is one of our favorite ways to directly engage with our customers, and usually consists more of 30 events all across the world. It's an opportunity to bring together the technology community for a full day of learning. And today we want to enable our customers across the globe to have the same learning experience as we move to our first virtual summit. As I mentioned before, current events have had an impact on people and businesses across the planet. I've been giving this a lot of thought lately, what we could best do for you. And today, I'd like to focus on some topics that I think are practical and timely, and hope that you look to use the coming months to sharpen your skills and strengthen your core businesses.
Okay.
We have a variety of sessions that range from optimizing the way you use your compute services all the way to build new skills in areas like machine learning. And whether you're looking to add to your personal portfolio of skills or optimize your AWS architectures, we believe there's something for everyone today. In the past, I've mentioned that creating technology solutions is a lot like constructing a physical building. You need a solid foundation. Foundation is not solid, it will cause structural problems that undermine the integrity and function of the building in the long term. And in the light of current events, not only does this change, but you could argue it's more important than ever as we get started to rapidly build solutions and respond to changes around us. You have to focus on these fundamental concepts in order to build stable, secure, efficient systems. And whether it's net new workloads that are being built, or maybe you're migrating existing workloads, it is critical that you are architecting properly from the beginning. Over the past 14 years, we've learned a number of lessons alongside with our customers as we built and launched hundreds of cloud services. These learnings include proven practice of how to design reliable and secure systems that can withstand massive throughput increases or unforeseen disruptions. And it's important to us that everyone running on AWS is able to benefit from the same learnings on day one of their cloud journey. And if you're using our managed services like S3 or DynamoDB or Lambda, you get these benefits just by using them. But as you piece together these technologies, it may become more complex. And that's why we've created things like the Amazon Builders Library and the well-architected framework. These assets are available to help everyone build, deploy, operate virtually anything and at any scale on AWS.
Okay.
So let's focus in on the well-architected framework for a moment. This framework is based on 5 core pillars that we believe are fundamental to successful design in the cloud.
Nothing about identity.
By using this framework, customers of every size, anywhere in the world, have access to the same proven approaches that we use when building our own services. Well-architected delivers this guidance in various forms, including extremely detailed white papers, and more recently, we've taken this even further with the introduction of lenses. Lenses are best practices and guidance focused in on a specific technology domain, HPC, serverless, IoT. Now let's take serverless as an example here. While the well-architected framework can be applied to any system that you might be building in the cloud, let's say now you're migrating to a serverless architecture to optimize your operational overhead. Using the serverless lens, we give even more contextual guidance that we know is critical in a serverless system. This includes deployment strategies all the way through monitoring techniques. And well-architected is more than just written guidance. In 2018, we launched the AWS well-architected tool that helps you review the state of your workloads and compare them to the latest best practices and track changes to your architecture over time. We truly want every customer to build the best systems they can in AWS. Remember, for us to be successful, our customers have to be successful. So we make things like well architected and the Amazon Builders Library completely free for our customers. Today, and in the coming months, I think it's important that customers use this time to go back to the fundamentals and use frameworks like these. As an organization, maybe it's time to go in and optimize that subsystem you never had time to get to. Or as an individual, this can be the opportunity to go out and learn some new skills, like, for example, machine learning.
Be sure to check out the well-architected tool inside the AWS Management Console. In addition to prescriptive guidance on your own workloads, you'll also find dozens of Q&A videos that answer common questions like, how do you manage credentials and authentication? Or, how do you test resilience?
Huh. Okay.
So we've talked about the fundamentals of good cloud design and being thoughtful when it comes to resilience and security from day one. Again, this is something critical to get right from the beginning. But for many of our customers already running in AWS, the past couple of months has led to unprecedented scale as well as optimization demands with their systems running in AWS. And it's no wonder. There are more people than ever working from home or limited to doing indoor activities. This means utilizing digital technologies and consuming more internet services than ever before. In turn, the necessity for many of our customers to scale to meet this demand is also at an all-time high. It's hard not to think about the media and entertainment industry here, particularly the streaming services. Not surprisingly, you can imagine that streaming video is experiencing a huge boom in the recent weeks. Market research suggests that the time spent streaming video during the day is up a whopping 40% worldwide in the past month. According to Nielsen, streaming video data has more than doubled in the US. For the week of March 30, Nielsen measured more than 161 billion total minutes spent streaming video, up from about 70 billion minutes just a year ago. Over 161 billion minutes in 1 week? Just think about it. And considering
Type of one in the chat if you still have traditional cable.
All run on AWS. This is an outstanding testament to the ability of a company to scale using AWS. But if you think what sits at the core of even these most demanding streaming content providers, serving those billions of minutes of content each week, it is still boils down to the very foundations we were just talking about. For example, when building scalable systems, you don't just spin up a bunch of EC2 instances. You use features like autoscaling that make you scale up and down your workloads automatically based on demand. And more importantly, this also helps you optimize spend, since you always are only running what you need while still being able to handle spiky behavior. Speaking of something like autoscaling, this has been a core feature in AWS for years, but it's also something that we continue to improve. For example, in recent years, we've implemented machine learning to help customers do predictive scaling based on past behaviors. Autoscaling can look at your application's traffic history and make predictions on future traffic based on billions of data points. We then use a regression model to determine exactly how many instances your application needs at any given time, and then preemptively scaling it at the right time. Now, of course, when you're using autoscaling, you're adding and removing those instances to a load balancer. But what's a load balancer in 2020? Years ago, a load balancer would simply sit in front of a cluster or web or application service and route user traffic in an efficient manner to the right resources. And many times those web servers or even application servers themselves would store static files like images and other content and serve them directly. But in AWS, you can also use things like Route 53 and CloudFront to direct customers to the closest region, and then application load balancers to route those instances to different AWS availability zones. This minimizes latency by routing customers to the right resources closest to where they are, while also helping with reliability by serving requests across multiple availability zones. And by leveraging CloudFront with S3, you can store your static content one time in S3 and then cache them at the edge in a way that keeps your static content closer to your users while also reducing the load on your applications. Now, you've probably heard about things like Route 63 and autoscaling for years, and now you're wondering why I'm sitting here in 2020 still talking about these. But it's these foundational concepts and the skills to apply these concepts that are so critical to modern design. Because whether you're a streaming
So I knew
media
about Route
service
53. I had never heard of
delivering content around the
CloudFront.
globe,
Or
or
I
a
didn't
small
really
startup
understand what it was,
that
I
wants to
should
make
say.
sure that prototype doesn't crash when meeting their first customer. And no matter who you are, the ability to scale up and down helps you control your cost and scale with your business. These fundamentals will help you build reliable systems and build better technology. Now, I'd like to go back to the media and entertainment industry for just a few moments here.
Okay.
Because there's a whole other side of this industry that you probably didn't think about much, and that's the creation of the content itself. This process begins a long time before we even get to see our favorite movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
In many cases, the end-to-end life cycle here is around 18 months,
Yeah.
and there's so much here that's worth exploring. So why does it take this long? There's a lot of reasons, and one of them is just how much data is generated with content creation. Something as small as a 30-second HD TV commercial can generate as much as 10 terabytes of data to store, transfer, and process. 10 terabytes. That's just 30 seconds. Now think about an entire TV show, or a whole series, or a feature film, which can be multiple petabytes in size.
Mm-hmm.
All of this data is being created, but also needs to be transferred, processed, and stored. Beyond the raw data itself, this industry, of course, produces hundreds of billions of dollars each year. Therefore, securing the features of the latest blockbuster is absolutely critical. And like many industries, there are existing processes that have been used to handle this over years. But I think you might be surprised to find the parallels between all of our industries and how the cloud is helping power the future. So let's dive in and take a look at some of the workflows and other things that they're doing. Because you may be surprised to see the parallels with what many of you are doing today. There are countless production studios involved in the creation of the content that we stream to our devices. This content always begins as a concept that requires the collaboration of large groups of creative people.
Yeah.
Before the cloud, these teams had to be physically tied to their offices so that they could be co-located with their peers and compute and storage.
They still do.
To get terabytes or even petabytes back and forth to the other production studios, they were mailing back and forth tapes. And this exposes that the true business collaboration is really difficult to do when shared resources are not accessible to everybody. And it's more than just collaboration software or business productivity applications that need to be truly collaborative. The backend core assets need to be accessible to anyone that needs them, anywhere where they are. And it is probably like many of you listening in today, regardless what industry you're in. You need true business collaboration capabilities, not only with your peers, but other organizations and even other companies.
Oh, I have a lot to say here.
Let's take a look at some of the other industry similarities and focus in on the overall content production pipeline. There are various steps that the content must go through as it moves from concept to distribution. This includes the development of material, pre-production phases, quality control, mastering, marketing, and so on. And while these steps are happening, separate editorial and finishing pipelines are moving forward in parallel.
Yep.
These pipelines and individual processes are well defined and deeply established within the industry.
Missing
After all, this industry has existed much longer, and with companies successful delivering content to consumers for many years.
Music.
But let's abstract these pipelines just a little bit. Swap out media asset management with source control, and make one of these layers CI/CD. And this starts to look very similar to a software development pipeline, similar to what you already are working on a daily basis. And when you dive into a detailed view of the post-production process, you can see all of the individual steps and processes that must be traveled as the content is edited.
Now we're talking.
And before it can move on to a quality control phase.
Yep.
Again, when you look at a workflow like this without labels, this begins to look very similar to any software workflow that we see being deployed every day by our customers on AWS. There are countless other parallels here at work that many of us do on a daily basis. In this industry, there are content lakes, which are very similar to the concept of data
Will
lakes.
do, Chris.
But when I mentioned earlier about the petabytes of assets generated just for one feature film, it is not enough to just have the place to store the bits. You also need to be able to scale rapidly, so that you are not constantly worrying about how much storage you have and when to procure more. You need to be able to give fine-grained access controls not only within your local network or over a VPN, but to all the various people, organizations, consultants, and other contributors potentially around the world. And this is a very basic example of what a production workflow might look like. You have your show's deliverables that need to be accessed by various people, organizations, and systems. That content gets dumped into the content lake, and then other contributors like visual effects, for example, execute against that content. On AWS, that might look something like this. You're leveraging an AWS Snowball for local storage, for either in-field or location storage, and then automatically load to S3. And this helps streamline the process of ingestion into the content lake. And it helps make the content quickly available to others. In this example, maybe a cluster of EC2 instances that are rendering output. All of this is based only on what you use, with the ability to burst on demand to meet your needs. And of course, it goes on from here. You have encoding, editing, archival, quality control, publishing, distribution. And you can start to see that by having the ability to design with scale in mind and the ability to grow as your needs and demand grow, while also being able to put restrictions over who gets access to what resources and when, through tight access controls so that you can safely share the assets you want with others, anywhere, at any time. This opens up a whole new world of possibilities of how you can work and collaborate with others. This is where working remotely during times of a crisis goes just beyond connectivity, access to backup systems, productivity software, and things like that. Rather, it's about being as productive as you can be, because the most critical digital assets can be available to you at any time from anywhere. It's the process changes and forcing functions that are making it possible for customers to be agile in how they consume and iterate. One great example of a customer that has already taken significant steps in rewriting the content creation process is Untold Studios. They have taken a fresh new approach to how content creation can be delivered in the cloud, and we thought we would share their story with you here.
We are a group of people who've come together in the industry, sort of born out of a desire to do something different, do something new, and a bit of a willingness to rewrite the rules. We're the first creative studio to be completely operating in the public cloud. We're doing everything on AWS. The render is there, the storage is there. There's no moving of anything, and that's what really changes the game. Actually, when you're setting a studio up, you need to make a load of decisions. You need to decide how much storage you want, how much capacity do you want from that file system. You need to decide how much render you want. If we get a big job tomorrow, I can say, okay, well,
don't bother going to their website.
Storage.
There's nothing on it.
Just add more nodes to our storage cluster, and away we go. The speed at which we can scale is just phenomenal.
What a missed opportunity.
Thanks for the cloud. What ThinkBox did was they built a test lab for us in London, and we tried to replicate the environment as best we possibly could. And actually, it lifted the whole team. Just seeing this in reality and seeing what was possible. AWS has a great support network and a great support team. I would say they were as passionate about getting this thing off the ground as we were, and they've just been a tremendous help.
So whether you're a startup,
what films have they done?
Enterprise, whether you're new to the cloud or already running significant workloads
Maybe not
on
the
AWS,
best example here, Werner.
Every industry has similar people, processes, and workloads that have these type of interdependencies. And that's what we want our customers to take away from training and education that we're sharing today. We want to enable any industry, company, and person to be successful in the cloud. And one more thing, it's not just about technology, it's also about culture. Regardless of the field of work or specialized skills, what brings us together is that our teams and our cultures are charging towards the same goal, to produce and deliver amazing results. And whether it's content creators trying to publish dazzling content, or the engineering teams that are building the streaming services that serve that content, I believe that if nothing else, these past few months have truly ushered in a new era in technology where we are seeing a fundamental shift in how everyone is viewing not only the technology itself, but how to access that technology, as well as how we build the technology. And that's what AWS wants to help you do. In many ways, it's accelerating the path towards a world that we have predicted many, many years ago. We had video conferencing inside the car from spy movies as far back as the 1960s. And 3D printing was seen as pure science fiction in the 1980s, especially with the sci-fi shows and movies arriving then. It is my assertion that in 2020 and beyond, most organizations are going to be transforming into a completely cloud-based environment where any worker can access any application or service from anywhere at any time. One example of this exact type of transformation that has been ushered in is telemedicine.
Ooh, okay.
Swedish healthcare startup Curie launched a secure, reliable, scalable platform for healthcare professionals to conduct video appointments with patients. Their new service, called Care Connect, is available at no charge to any practicing doctor or healthcare professional in Europe. In France and the UK, where Curie operates as Livy, the platform is called Livy Connect. We've seen increased demand for video appointments given current times.
I had one this week for my shoulder.
Platform offers a way for doctors to continue their consultations over video so that patients can maintain access to vital healthcare services. The Care Connect platform runs on top of AWS, using Amazon S3, CloudFront, Amazon ECS on AWS Fargate, and Amazon Aurora. Curie chose CloudFront for the content delivery network to deliver low-latency video between the doctor and the patient. This was to more closely replicate the in-office experience. By using Amazon ECS on Fargate and Aurora MySQL, Care Connect is able to automatically scale to meet the demands of their rapid growing user base. This scale in compute allows medical professionals to increase the number of patients while still being able to safely provide consultations. It is even more impressive that Curie team was able to launch the platform in just a week and a half. The Care Connect platform is currently available in 10 languages: English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, Netherlands, and Polish.
This is all fine and good, but it doesn't solve the end user problem.
It's one of the several services Curie is developing on AWS to support healthcare professionals and patients, including a free symptom checker.
What?
This was a perfect example why even the most fundamental services and design principle still play such a vital role in getting ideas like Care Connect off the ground.
Probably.
And when you start bundling them with services like Fargate that allow you to abstract away container orchestration, and Aurora, which abstracts database management and scaling, you can build these extremely scalable, reliable, and performant systems faster than ever before. So we've talked a lot about scale and how important it is to be able to meet high demand. But sometimes it's not just the scale in terms of number of machines or the amount of storage or bandwidth that you're consuming. Sometimes it's the speed at which you can pivot to implement new ideas. We've seen customers already pilot on AWS new ideas and initiatives that are helping communities in a meaningful way. And that's one thing that has been wonderful to see these last few months. And whether it's sewing masks or picking up prescriptions or teddy bear hunts to keep children engaged and entertained, people are stepping up to their neighbors and their community. One customer that has been at the center of these community-based efforts, and in particular those teddy bear hunts, is Nextdoor.
Connection is a basic human need. So it's an irony of our hyper-connected world that many of us no longer know our neighbors. In 2010, a Pew Research study found that 28% of Americans didn't know a single neighbor by name. That was the inspiration behind Nextdoor,
social media,
a neighborhood hub for trusted connections. Nextdoor's purpose is to cultivate a kinder world where everyone has a neighborhood to rely on.
Nextdoor,
Today,
a place for you to complain about people not picking up the dog shit in their neighborhood.
Form a book club, get help fixing a broken window, or even connect with emergency services in a natural disaster. This is especially true now in the unprecedented times we live in. Nextdoor's traffic has grown significantly as people everywhere are rediscovering and seeking refuge in their neighborhood connections. The company has scaled their platform globally to support an 80% increase in daily active users, almost overnight. User engagement has spiked too. Conversations about supporting local businesses have grown 17 times the normal amount, and posts from public agencies have tripled.
Right.
Nextdoor is also adding new features. The company released Nextdoor Groups, a new global feature for organizing local help groups. And they launched Help Map, where locals can mark themselves as someone who can pitch in for their neighbors in need. AWS plays a critical role in supporting Nextdoor in these efforts. Since its launch, Nextdoor has been native on AWS using more than 30 AWS services. Now, to support their rapid growth in traffic, they're using Amazon Elasticache to improve application response times. They're also optimizing their database strategy, moving workloads like their high-throughput user content database to Amazon Aurora. Together, AWS and Nextdoor are bringing neighbors together. One example, teddy bear hunts, coordinated on Nextdoor, are taking over neighborhoods everywhere.
Right,
Since
that's
children
pretty cool.
can't always go to parks or to school, neighbors are placing teddy bears in their windows to make walks feel like special treasure hunts. It's
Okay,
a hopeful
fine, that's a
example
little
of the way
awe.
technology can bring
Uh-oh.
people together, make connections, and show that we're all in this together.
And it's great to see people offering to help each other or coming up with ways to cheer up neighborhood children. I continue to be inspired by how I've seen our customers pivot in response to the recent events in the world and how they've used technology to solve human problems. And while many aspects of daily life has changed drastically in response to these unprecedented times, companies are taking on challenges to improve processes and make things easier, faster and safer for communities around the world. In Italy, grocery shopping has become even more of a chore. People who can't order groceries online have to go to the supermarket and wait in long queues, as only a few people can enter the store at a time. Some supermarkets might have long waiting times, in some cases more than 2 hours, while others almost have no lines. A team of 5 junior engineering students at the Politecnico di Milano formed an Italian non-profit app, Fila Indiana. In just a few days, they come up with the brilliant idea to crowdsource estimated waiting times at supermarkets in the user's area. This allowed shoppers to identify the most efficient shopping location. But before they started on this project, they had no previous experience with AWS. They took on this opportunity to learn how to build microservices using the serverless framework and Python functions in Lambda. By focusing on the API documentation and interfaces first, they were able to work independently, complete the first version of their app in less than 30 hours. A local news outlet wrote about the app, and within the first 3 days they had over 500,000 users and more than 1 million users in a week.
Shit.
They also used API gateways for their endpoints and geohashing queries within DynamoDB, and this serverless architecture allowed them to scale to millions of users in the first week while optimizing cost. Now, the team is working hard to expand this service to
It's
other
a
countries
nonprofit. Who paid
and
that
other
bill?
languages, and they hope to be ready later this month. Because all data is crowdsourced, the architecture won't need to change to support more users or more countries in the future. The Do Your Part app is another example of the speed at which you can easily bring ideas to life. By leveraging the agility of AWS, Skylab and Circle were able to launch Do Your Part in just 24 hours. The Do Your Part app rewards uses their value reinforcement system and recognizes users for taking actions that are needed to flatten the curve, like hand washing, wearing a face mask, social distancing. They have over 100,000 users in more than 110 countries. It's great to see Do Your Part help slow the transmission rate through education and awareness during this pandemic.
So it's an app
And it's
that
another
reminds you of
amazing
CDC
example how
guidelines?
the cloud is providing organizations of all sizes with the speed to quickly innovate and build
Did I hear that
solutions
right?
for our communities. The cloud is providing organizations of all sizes with the agility to quickly respond by innovating and build solutions. But companies have been using the cloud for a long time in order to get the ideas to market quickly. And what I've learned is that there's companies and people in all corners of the globe solving hard human problems. I'm fortunate that I get to meet them for my work at AWS and to document the impact that they're having for my show Now Go Build. It is companies like the Indonesian startup Hera Token using the exchange of data to give both smallhold farmers across Southeast Asia access to a credit system and an identity within a broader economic system. Or in and around Porto, in Portugal, Venium and Zea are using mesh networks to better understand the rhythms of a stunning ancient city, along with the flexible, clean transportation to give the best parts of the region, the architecture, the cobbled streets and those beautiful beaches, back to the people. I was in the Philippines a few months ago, spending time with the humanitarian OpenStreetMap team, riding shotguns with volunteers as they collected and confirmed mapping data in the shadow of Mount Pinitabo, in all of service to making sure that the most vulnerable populations are literally put on the map so they can be counted and seen. Or startups like ZWorks and PixieDust and Myson, who are using machine learning models to help better take care of the elderly in Japan. They're finding ways for technology to bridge the gap between a growing population of seniors and a shrinking population of people that need to take care of them. And in India, the duo behind Swendy are using mass customization and a suite of managed services to help artists make a living at their art. Their efforts are not only enable a growing population of women artists, but also preserve millennia-old art forms that are at risk of simply vanishing in the current generation.
Wow.
Seeing what is possible with some creativity and a good development team at your side in all parts of the world, in every aspect of life, it is always inspiring to me. And builders like you make that happen. And that's why I'm humbled by the work that companies like the ones we just talked about do, and countless others, that are transforming and empowering their communities during these times of uncertainty. Wherever you are on your cloud journey, we want to help more people become builders like this. And we have online resources, free content, and practical guidance for all experiences, levels, and interests. To that end, I would just like to take a moment to share a few of the things that you can start doing today. Let's start with some of the breakout sessions that are available during the AWS Summit Online. First and foremost, this is a learning conference that offers something for everyone. You've gotten this far, so maximize your remaining time with us to learn something new or gain greater insights on an area that you're already familiar with. Sessions range from introductory to advanced levels on topics such as machine learning, data and analytics, security, migration, modernization, operations, you name it. Beyond what's covered today, there's a number of things you can do in the coming weeks to increase your knowledge and improve your skills. For example, check out the AWS training and certification page to help you get started on general AWS training, as well as getting you on a path to associate and professional certifications. With over 360 online training courses to choose from, you can learn at your own pace and pick a class that's right for you on topic, skill level, and role. Offerings include everything from application integration to cloud essentials, game tech, networking, content delivery, and more. Best of all online classes are free. And you can take your training to the next level by gaining AWS certification. AWS offers exam guides, sample questions, and other exam preparation resources to help you succeed. You can also stay informed by checking out our blogs, including the AWS blog, the AWS News blog, the AWS Architecture blog, AWS Security blog, and of course, my own blog, All Things Distributed. For those of you who prefer to learn by interacting with peers, AWS has a worldwide community of expert developers who share their knowledge as part of the AWS Hero program. You can check out each person's bio to determine the right fit and connect with them. Libraries are also a great resource, and there are several that you can utilize. The AWS Solution Library offers a collection of cloud-based solutions for dozens of technical and business problems, all of them which have been vetted by AWS. And then there is the Amazon Builders Library. It provides articles that describe how Amazon develops, architects, releases, and operates technology. Another great way you can build on what you've learned is by checking out the video series. This is my architecture. We have over 400 to choose from. These videos feature innovative cloud architectures from AWS customers and partners. Earlier today, I mentioned that we have several ways for you to sharpen your skills in the area of machine learning. ML is no longer an emerging technology. It is here and promises to be a game changer for nearly every industry. In fact, IDC predicted by 2021, global spending on AI and cognitive technologies will exceed 50 billion. If you're eager to get your hands-on experience with ML and have fun in the process, I invite you to check out the online Deep Racer League. AWS Deep Racer is a fully autonomous 1/18 scale race car.
Have you guys seen this at reInvent last year and throughout last year?
A CD racing simulator and a global racing league.
It's really cool.
Participants can train, evaluate, and tune reinforcement learning models in an online simulator, deploy their model onto AWS Deep Racer for a real-world autonomous experience, and then compete in the AWS Deep Racer League for a chance to win the AWS Deep Racer Championship Cup. There are so many tools and resources that are available to our customers. Sometimes it's like being a kid in a candy store, with all the options you have available. Now, we covered a lot of ground, and I really want to thank you everyone for taking the time and tuning in. I implore you to make use of the sessions today to develop your personal skills, ensure your systems are built on a solid foundation, and find new ways to use technology to make a difference. In a world that is increasingly digital and rapidly changing, our faith in the powers of builders to create a more vibrant, equitable, and just world is stronger than ever. We're optimistic about the future and the untold ways in which technology that you will create will help to make it a better world. Now go learn and go build.
Yes, sir.
We provide small-scale farmers with a network to connect with one another.
We make the world safer for children.
Our mission is to quantify the entire planet in real time.
The idea is to teach mathematics in an engaging and fun way.
Our mission is imagining a world free of heart disease and stroke.
Technology is bigger than us. The only thing that you can do is come up with the best ways to utilize it. Take technology and use it as an agent that encourages creativity, curiosity, and empowerment.
It makes you ask yourself a lot of questions.
The challenge is what technology can help me search for that child.
How do we use technology for big data, for autonomy, and put it at the service of the planet? So this is not a small challenge. Purely on wind power for propulsion. The types of sensors that we have on the sail drone is pressure sensors for barometric pressure, air temperature, carbon dioxide, and a telecommunication link back through satellite that streams real-time data back to shore. So for example, our Antarctic circumnavigation. It had never been done before. We sail around Antarctica in 196 days with 3 vehicles and release the data 20 days after the mission was over. Anyone can download the scientific data and immediately start integrating it to get some insight. What we are doing today could not have happened even 10 years ago. So for us, an AWS was a natural partner in trying to get a quick start around both the storage and the compute of that infrastructure in a way that can scale literally planetary-wide.
I remember those
Technology
guys.
is the agent of change. We want to make a revolution in teaching mathematics worldwide.
I think technology can play an amazing part in creating a more inclusive environment for those in the communities in the United States and around the world. Equitable health and well-being for all people. That's enough to get excited about, and that's why I'm excited about the future.
We do this ultimately for the benefit of humanity. How do we use the technology that we have developed and put it at the service of the planet? We want to stay here and we want to make it better.
Having a child smile is 1,000 words, 1,000,000 words that can't describe it. And that's the best day when I get those calls going, hey, we just found a child.
So I do think that there's a place for technology in the future. We just need to remember to be human about it.
Well said. I like that. Well, there we go, guys. Safe. How do I mute that now? No, that works. All right, so the interesting thing here, first of all, I want to talk to you guys about what we just watched. There's definitely some notes I was taking over here off to the side. I think that one of the things that he was talking about Phila, Indiana, the Italian crowdsourcing company to gauge wait queues or lines for groceries at supermarkets. And they burst up to 500,000 users in the first day and 1 million users in a week. Or in a few days and then a week. Who pays that bill? I could certainly go out tomorrow and build an app that could blow up, right? But the thing we don't talk about is the side effect of that. Like, who's funding it? Did they have funding? It was just 5 junior engineers fresh out of school that had never built anything before, right? How are they paying what is likely a $100,000 AWS bill? Maybe Amazon did. Maybe. For that first month. Maybe. So that's my concern in the messaging there a little bit. Without expressly and explicitly saying that, which if they did, I think they would have said that. I think they would have bragged about that. And that's why I'm asking the question. Maybe they crowdsource. That's the other thing I was thinking of, is maybe somehow there's a $5 fee to use the app, and that times 1 million is 5 million, and congratulations, you can pay your AWS bill. Maybe. I didn't even look at what the cost of the app was in the App Store. So it's probably, but if AWS had paid for it, they'd have bragged about it. 1. 2, it's probably not a free app. But I'm sitting here going, well, he just said it was a nonprofit, so how they're not selling an app? Explain it to me. The other one was Do Your Part, which basically looked like which I want to check out, right? I want to see, what is it? It looked like a collection of advice for coronavirus. Do Your Part app. Hashtag Do Your Part on the App Store. There's a hero in all of us. Okay. Oh, so it's like a sort of task list. Okay, I get it. It's a pretty simple app to put together. You've got the front page, you've got some top headlines, you've got users, you've got a checklist, a to-do list, right? And then you've got a news section. Cool. I bet they're blowing up right now because they just got featured on the summit, but what was the other one? Oh, the big one I wanted to talk about that I was kind of saving till last. Cry telemedicine. See a doctor by video. All right. Let me switch to... So this is the one I wanted to talk about. I come from healthcare, right? Before I ever joined NetApp in 2011. And more importantly, twice within the last 3 months, I had surgery on my shoulder at the end of January, early February, mid-February 18th, something like that. And then I had a 6-week post-op as I was doing PT. But because of the shutdown and shelter-in-place orders, there was no telehealth, telemedicine. It was a WebEx. because end users. And I'm not saying all end users are dumb, but I'm just saying that innovation and technology, maybe the users aren't prepared. How do you get an 82-year-old grandma that's home alone that really has no devices, maybe has a smartphone or even an iPad, if you're fortunate enough, to do this? And that's where I'm thinking, because for me, even super tech guy, the doctor, the PA that called to give me my consultation I could barely run a WebEx. That's no knock on her, but I mean, there's this expectation that we all just know how to use technology and conferencing software. And even us as technologists, hell, Zoom and WebEx, GoToMeeting, they all give us problems. So the thing that I'm curious about is, this all sounds good on paper, but I really want to see it work for the people that need it the most. The people that are disabled, the people that can't go to a doctor's office. Even put the pandemic thing aside for the moment, right? And we're all staying at home and we need to do telehealth. Outside the scope of the pandemic, there's still people that can't go to the doctor's office. They still need telemedicine. So is Cry gonna provide them with a free device? Are they supposed to hold a phone up and somehow do stretching and evaluation while holding a phone? That's what I want to know. Like, it's great that you built an app. It's great that you've got a database and a platform. But what about the end user experience? That's what I'd want to hear more about. I'd really like to see, start in the app, get the care right away, make sure you feel better. So, well, I don't want to open that can of worms yet, Gina, to be honest with you. It's hard for me to say. I'm a fan of centralized medical records. What I don't think has been decided is who controls that central repository. I love the idea that I can go to a hospital, let's say Minneapolis. I can get the flu, and I can go to an emergency room in Minneapolis, and they could pull up my entire medical history. Letting third parties like this, like, are the videos being recorded? The consultations between the patient and the healthcare professional? Is it encrypted connection? Is somebody storing that video somewhere? Is it being cached? That's what I'm concerned about with this kind of stuff. Who can access the data in the repository, or who can demand access to it? Yeah. That's a good point. There should be some level of authentication or access granted. Not every, I would say RN or higher. But like billing clerks and things like that, CNAs, no. But if I go into an emergency room and an RN wants to see my medical history and I'm catatonic or unconscious and they need to see what the hell's going on with me and whether or not I'm allergic to penicillin before they stick me with some antibiotics, yeah, I'm okay with that. That's what I'm referring to. I see what your point is, though, about like me and the WebEx with the PA Monday. It happened 2 days ago. It was over a WebEx. Did WebEx store that call? I don't know. It wasn't recorded in the traditional sense. But are they? And if so, who's storing it? And who's in control of that? Yes, the privacy concerns are vast with me. Coming from, we went to great lengths to do masking in our Oracle databases for all PII. Trust me, and we were a centralized billing thing. We were a hospitalist outfit. For anybody that happens to know what that is. Basically, it's doctors that make contracts with hospitals where they're not full-time employees of the hospital, but they might have an office or something like that. But above and beyond the doctors that have offices in the hospital, there's other physicians and staff necessary to staff 24-hour operations at a hospital. So the hospitalist was born. And think of it like a contracted medical professional that comes in and works as if they're a full-time employee, right? Same thing. But when we did that, we had all the billing that we brought back. So the doctor would walk in with an iPad and go, "Hi, Nick, we see you've got and they do all their billing, all their coding right there on the iPad and hit bang, send, and it would come back to central office in a giant Oracle database. It was all brought in through a web app, SSL encryption, all that stuff, right? But when it got into the database, it got masked immediately. Like upon ingest, it was masked. Nobody else could ever pull that information back out of there again. We would have like the last 4 of the social or something like that. That was the identifier. And other corresponding information. But it was only ever really used for billing. And we ended up taking the company public. What's that? Oh, no. Okay. We're going to close that. All right. And that was even worse. HIPAA, SOX, Ernst & Young, everybody was in there doing auditing. Microsoft, Oracle. Shortly after this, I virtualized Oracle. And they loved it. They were resistant to it, but I kind of worked with one of the DBAs and did it anyway. I was like, "Hey, can I get a copy of the database?" So right there, I shouldn't have had a copy of the database. But I needed to prove that it would work. That right there, we should have gotten in trouble for. We broke the rules. But it worked. And I got them off of Spark, and I got them off of Sun Gear, and I got them onto x86, and they're running virtualized, and the rest is history. And those copies were destroyed, and all that stuff. Did I break a little glass? Did I break the rules? Yes. Yes. Did I save them millions of dollars in Oracle licensing every year? Yes. You're welcome. Well, guys, that is going to do it. Thank you very much for joining us here today. I'd love to hear if you guys had any comments or questions, either in the chat right here or come over and join us in our Discord server. A brand new tech community that's fired up, has over 100 technologists in it already. Just make sure you read the rules channel and check the little box at the bottom to agree, and it'll open up all the channels and the entire thing for you. Come into the introductions channel, introduce yourself, let us know, all that good stuff. But it is just a great budding new community that we're really excited about. We talk about anything from technology and cloud to gaming and pimping out your office and your studios, working from home, new desks, computer hardware, servers, enterprise tech, all kinds of stuff. So come over and join us. Very excited about the growth of that. And I am officially moved over to YouTube now. I guess as of today. Today is the first stream. Let me switch this screen back over. There we go. As of today. Now, I'm not saying I'm abandoning Twitch. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Twitch is still going to be there. Twitch is going to be a thing where some of the members of the community Discord that are also gamers and want to hang out and play some games at night, in the evenings, on the weekends, something like that, we're going to use Twitch for that. I've mostly decided not to try to push the boulder up over the hill anymore and up over the mountain to try to make non-gaming content work on Twitch. AWS themselves can't seem to do that, as much content as they're putting out there. So I'm moving my non-gaming stuff over here to YouTube 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You guys can find it here. And I'll be setting up things so you can get alerts and get set up. But make sure you subscribe to the channel right here, because that's where you'll get those notifications for when we're going live. But I really appreciate everybody's support as we're going through this journey over the last 6 months. Thank you guys for helping me test all this stuff out. Really appreciate it. And we're going to try this here on YouTube for a while and see how it works. And we're going to continue to use Twitch for some other more fun stuff, some auxiliary stuff. But we're going to make YouTube our home. Absolutely going to make YouTube our home. So make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss it. We will be back on Friday, where we're going to do an unboxing of a brand new NAS and the reveal of some performance of 10 gig Ethernet here in the studio. Spoiler alert, it's really fast. All that and much more. Come join us Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks for joining us for the AWS Summit. We'll be here next week for, I believe it's Microsoft Build. Take care, guys. Peace.